Okay, we're on a roll. This is pretty much what the BrainStreams are, but really, this is the last one. But this is also actually a very, very big part of why I wanted to start automating. Because in the beginning, when I would do one BrainStream, it's fine. You remember what you spoke about, and you go into LinkedIn because that's the only one you want to deal with. You upload one file, you write a short little post. Bob's your uncle. Like, you're done. But then you get involved, and this happened when Apple announced the Vision Pro. Obviously, I've worked in augmented reality now for, I think it's about 15 years, maybe a bit over 15 years. So when they released it, I obviously had a lot to say about the Vision Pro, a lot of thoughts. I ended up, I think, making about 7 brain streams, a lot. I was in Guatemala. I had just watched the video. I went to my favorite hammock in the garden, and I just started recording and what I thought and where they should. Anyways, it became a lot. Now, what I then had to do when I wanted to post up is I had to go one by one, and because I didn't know or remember exactly which one, I had to go and watch them all again. And what I was like is like, this is ridiculous. I, as a person, have already recorded that. I know what they're talking about, but because I've made so many of them, I don't remember specifically which one, what it's dealing with. So I have to re-listen to it. I can use AI to re-listen to it. How? Transcript. Now, you've also got VLMs and stuff right now that I probably don't have to work just on the transcripts. Those VLMs can now look at my expressions, get excitement or look at what's around me. Also, there were points that I wanted to start showing my video screen. If I'm really doing a video, I'd like to share my screen because I want to show concepts. Sometimes, especially like in my project, I want to be able to showcase some things. A new idea comes out, whatever it is, that would be really cool to be able to get what I'm showing on the screen and understand what's going on. Anyway, so I was like, okay, I should get a transcript. And that's where I went down the whole rabbit hole of like, okay, how do I do that? Now I have to start encoding that. And I did all these manual steps to get it. And I was like, I came to a point where I was like, this is taking way too much time. BrainStreams were only supposed to take a little bit of time out of my day. Share those thoughts to free my time out for other things. And now I'm just spending all this time to share them out. The ROI just didn't make sense to me. And it just led to me to pause or like to kind of stop doing brain streams. And I was like, if I could just record a brain stream and just generate a bunch of things just by recording it, how amazing would that be? And right now, it is just sharing it to social media, right? But I want to get to a point where like a lot of these ideas, I have like visions in my head of like, I would like to create a concept video. To be able to create all these things where just from the words that I'm speaking. And again, this also ties into how you should utilize the computer and the future of the UI and what graphical user interface and voice user interface and and the conversation with the agent. This all plays into it. I was like, I don't want to just stop at like putting it up and sharing a post. I want to have thumbnails that explain it, that make it more enticing, so more people watch it. But I also don't want to just stop at that. I want to make a video, and so I started to make a video on YouTube. And right now, the way that it's working is because I'm going through Spotify for Creators. They're stripping out the video through their RSS feed because they want to be the place where people watch video podcasts. So when it goes to Apple Podcasts and YouTube, thankfully it goes automatically because of the RSS feed, but it strips out the video, which is a big part of these brain streams. Yes, the podcast episodes don't have video yet, but again, that's that's a barrier we'll reach when we get there. But there is stripping out stops me from having a whole channel over there. But it was just like way too much. I was spending so much time on it that like having to go and then upload the video to all those different places and make sure I have the bandwidth and just it was just way too much time. So automating that would have been amazing. And going beyond that and like making clips, I would love to be like when I started making clips, 2025, I think it was about 2017, I believe, when I looked back over the last video. Um, it took me, I think, between 2 weeks and a month for some of these videos, which are like 20 seconds long. I had to learn the applications and the visual effects, and also deal with my Mac back then, which was way underpowered for those tasks back then. I had to script, and it just took so much time to do a video that I think I only ended up releasing, I don't know, maybe probably less than 10 videos before I paused that. But I would love to create those concept videos, but I can't spend my entire day doing that. I can't spend weeks and months doing that. So I had to stop that, and that ultimately, again, came into this podcast. But that would be amazing if from these videos, or even from multiple of these videos, concepts could come out of what I'm visualizing. Maybe I've explained it in the video or explained it over a few videos. And to be able to just start generating that content um, for myself and for other people. And like sometimes I'm trying to explain something and like I want to share my screen, words are not enough, and there's a whole visual behind it. And there's so much in there. Sometimes I say something and I'm like, that should really be on my website, which is again what I was like, I think there's just so many things going on that this thought process, there's so much behind it, and there's so much potential to create, and not just to create for others to consume, but also to create for yourself. Um, and so that automation was like a huge part of it, of like, I'm getting stuck in just the sharing part, and I haven't even gotten to the part of like create more stuff. Um, that this is incredibly exciting. Okay, so I think I was sharing with you what I used to do, like the process I used to do. And now, instead of only having an LLM that's able to look through the transcript and say, oh, this is a good clip between those seconds, and having to go manually get the clip, trim it, put a file name, put it into the folder, and get ready to then drag it into whatever interface. And then also remember which clip should be associated with like Spotify clips, and which one should go to YouTube, and which one should go to WhatsApp, and all those different places. Those are all things that you have to think about and like try to figure out. But before, where that was all just text, now because I've connected this, I can actually generate and create those clips automatically. So once I was able to put this in and I got the clips, part of the programming um, in the back end of the automation was to be able to cut out those clips for me and to also put the captions on top of it. And there's so many other things. If I go back to these caption apps, I'm sure I could find so many things of like, some of them add like sounds at certain points. Some of them add little stickers, or some of them have actual overlays of media and things like that. This is what video editors do. They've got roll, roll A, roll B. They've got A roll, B roll. They've got other media that they put in that they help out, and audio and things like that. Mine has none of that. To be able to iterate on this and to add audio when it needs to be under um, sorry, I really should be turning off my notifications because I get when I read something, I get distracted. Okay, but all those things are just they're all nice to have. But once you can program that and actually have it explain it to an agent and then see it out there and see it automated, you can then build on that, and then you start building an entire pipeline where you don't need to get your own editor to do something that was only supposed to be a 10-minute job, or jank together a bunch of different applications and end up having like dozens of subscriptions for different applications that are only doing parts of it. You can start building that up and just focusing on the creation, not of the content, of the create the form of creation, which could create content, but also create actual viable and proper things for you. Yeah, I'm a bit distracted from that message. So, where should we go? We should wrap this up. There's so many other parts of this that I wanted to share. Um, but we're finally at that point. The original, not the original vision, but one of the visions when I was talking about Siri was like using Siri shortcuts and freeform and node-based editing inside of Apple and Apple Intelligence to be able to build this and see how it goes and create it. I didn't do that. I did it all using Claude Code, using IDEs like Cursor or Anti-Gravity, using various different models to jank things together, using Nano Banana for image generation, using Remotion to create these clips with captions, which in the future hopefully will add more things that make those clips that help showcase those clips, that help identify the best parts, the pulling out everything that needs to. Maybe going over a bunch of clips that are connected, a bunch of episodes or brain streams that are connected, and then create stuff from them. Being able to go in and use that to then edit my website and like update it based on a conversation. There's just sky's the limit, but I'm just happy that we finally got to that place. And I'm going to make a small mention of ClaudeBot or Multibot that is supposed to go into your system. That actually seems to be what I was trying to explain what Siri should be when it has access to your files, but it has the tools like Claude Code and Claude Cowork that just came out. That has this aspect of living on top of your file system. They're building what Siri should have done. And I really hope that this comes to Apple and this comes naturally. But in the meantime, I'm just happy that these tools are here. I don't have time to test them all out and to go in them because that's why I said there's so many things coming out. There's more brain streams, more things to do, more things to build. I'll see you guys in the future.